Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. I wanted to be on yesterday, but, had some other engagements. So I missed yesterday, but I'm glad to be back today. Got a nice group here. We got Kev and Andy. Chop is in the house. Devon is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to talk about these Knicks trying to get off this 3-game skid versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, the Knicks are actually, without playing a game, they went from being in the 9th spot back up into the 8th spot because other teams keep losing. I'm telling y'all, ladies and gentlemen, if we play and we do what we can do, we can get that 8th seed, man. We just got to keep doing what we're doing. Got to start tonight. This is our 5th time playing the Cleveland Cavaliers this season, including the preseason. Time to get this win, man. Let me get the guys over here so we can start talking about this game. You know what I mean? The Knicks trying to snap that 3-game losing skid, ladies and gentlemen. Kev, what's going on with you, brother? How you feeling?
Hey, the professor is in, man. The professor is in. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. You got to stop this skid. I'm only allowing them to lose 3 in a row. That's it. They got to get off the skid now. So let's go.
Yeah, hopefully they can get off of it now. They let me see. They went on a 5-game losing skid earlier in the season. We don't need that. You know what I mean?
No more of that. No more of
that. And especially since we play the Los Angeles Clippers next, right? One of the top teams in the Western Conference, and we have not fared well against the Western Conference so far this season. We need to get one now. You know what I mean? Andy was going on.
We've only won one game.
Yo,
right?
What up, Sim? What up to the chat? What up to the
Utah,
panel?
We beat Golden State.
Oh, Golden State. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. Right, Andy. My bad.
Yeah. What up, Sim? What up, Sim? What up to the panel? And a happy birthday to you, Sim. It's late evening. My children are sleeping. I got a drink here for your birthday. So I'm going to enjoy the show.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I was going to do my Marilyn Monroe happy birthday to you, but I ain't going to do that, man.
I don't need that one. I don't need that one.
Do it now.
I had a beautiful day yesterday. Don't ruin it. You know what I'm saying? Devon, what's going on, man?
Go shorty. It's your birthday.
Yeah,
Real talk. Happy birthday, Sim, man. Hope many more, man. It's a blessing, brother, to see another. I know it is. So, and one quick note, man. Peace of Queen of all kings, R.I.P. to Cicely Tyson, man. That's just who I grew up.
Man.
Seeing her grow up through my dad. I just want to throw that out there right quick. R.I.P. to Cicely Tyson. Man, we about to start a new journey, man. Hopefully Cleveland can get their butt spanked tonight. I think the boy feel good sleeping back in their own bed finally off that West Coast trip. Let's just hope that the Knicks can come out here with that energy, man, and start a new chapter in our second quarter, man, and get this W and move on. I think Kawhi Leonard and Paul George is off that COVID protocol right when they about to play the Knicks. But go Knicks tonight, man. I hope we pull that W out tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. And Chop?
Yeah.
Thank you. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody. God bless. Uncle Kev, Devon, Andy, salute. Yo, Unc, Big Birth Strong. Let's get it tonight.
Yeah, man. And I'm happy to be able to share, our birthday with Rakim.
Oh, wait, Unc, sorry,
Yeah.
Unc. And then don't leave me, but Unc, I'm sorry. I didn't even see Joe Madden was in the background.
I got him.
Oh,
yeah.
Yo, listen, everybody, please. Let's make sure Joe Madden gets over this, right? I'll let him tell you, but let's make sure he gets over this right now. What we're going through within the whole year, he has it. Let's make sure he gets over it. God bless him.
I don't know what he's getting over, but anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
COVID. He has the COVID.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess he'll tell us. But, like I was saying, happy to share a birthday with Rakim, man. J. Cole, and Rick Ross.
Yeah.
And Rick Ross. Yes. All 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? So, that's pretty dope.
Rakim was the best. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's pretty dope right there.
Rakim was that dude.
you know. But let's go ahead and let's get with it. I'm gonna get Joe Madden in here for a second. But before I do that, let me get to the box score a little bit. Then I'm gonna get Joe in here. You know, looking at this game, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks have played the Cleveland Cavaliers twice already this season. Right? They won the first one 95-86. They lost the second one 106-83. But Cleveland's gotten healthier since then. Right? They've gotten healthier. Darius Garland is back, so they're going to have a backcourt of Darius Garland and Colin Sexton. That's a little bit scary for me. You know, we got to make sure that we doing what we need to do against that backcourt. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they average 105.4 points per game. The Knicks at 101.5. Right, so they're two teams down at the bottom. As a matter of fact, they may be 29-30 as far as scoring is concerned. The Knicks average 47.4 rebounds. The Cavaliers at 43.6, even though they have Andre Drummond. You know, he can dominate the glass. He did it to us last time. The Knicks are at 21.1 assists, while the Cavs are at 23.9. The Cavs average 10 steals, so, you know, they can get out and run the fast break a little bit because they get those steals. The Knicks are at 6.7. Both teams about 5 blocks. 15 turnovers for the Cavs, 13 for the Knicks. 45.6% from the field for the Cavs, 44.2% for the Knicks. They're both around 35% from the three-point line, and 70% for the Cavs and 75% for the Knicks from the free throw line. The Cavs normally dominate the paint. They average 54 points a game. The Knicks are at 47. Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel, they did an interview this morning after the shoot-around, and, you know, both of them kind of talked about how they've got to man that paint and not let Andre Drummond dominate in the paint. Much easier said than done. Much easier said than done. Both teams average about 13 second chance points, and of course the Cavs are at 14 fast break points, while the Knicks are at about 7 fast break points per game. Now, Andre Drummond he's a beast down there. The last time we played him, he dominated in the paint. You know, there was not much that Mitch or Nerlens Noel could do to deal with Andre Drummond. And I think that's going to be a big key, a major key tonight. You know, listen, he may only be on the Cavaliers for so much longer. He may end up being in Brooklyn, but he's on the Cavaliers tonight. You know what I'm saying? And we got to find a way to keep a body on him at all times. I think we got to send guards down to help rebound as well. If it were me, I'd have one of my guards. I'd say, your job, while Mitch or Nerlens Noel is also blocking out Andre Drummond, your job is to go there and help box him out as well. You know what I'm saying? I send a double box out on him. It's something that I've done a lot in AAU when they have someone who's big, tall, can really rebound the ball. And if I'm Tom Thibodeau, over the past few days, I've worked on the zone, and I'd play a little bit of zone. You know, I don't think Tom Thibodeau is going to do that, but I would. You know what I mean? A big shout out to Simmons Singh. He said, happy belated birthday. I appreciate you. Thank you. And Gregory Castillo, the same. He said, happy birthday. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And let me get to the guys, man. Joe, what's going on with you, man? I hope you're feeling well, man.
Oh,
I hope you're getting better.
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got COVID, so I'm not feeling the best, but it is what it is. I got to quarantine now for 2 weeks.
All right.
But
all right.
That is what it is.
Now, just to be clear, I just want to be clear with you that COVID doesn't travel through the internet, does it?
Yeah,
it doesn't, right? So. Like, we good, right? I just want to make sure.
I don't think so. No.
All right. Nah, go ahead, man. Talk to us about the Cavs.
Yeah, these are big. Next couple of games for us are big because if we go down 1-3, it's going to be kind of a climb to try and get back to that 500 spot. But when we start off tonight, to me, it's a must-win. It's going to be tough because the Cavs aren't the Cavs of old. The Cavs have been good this year. Their guard plays good. You know, Drummond's a beast on the glass. So we kind of have to contain him. And I think you're right. We should try him. I don't know if Thibodeau will, but play a zone on them and make them shoot. Clog up that paint. Because, that's where Sexton and Garden love to get into the paint.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, but it's a big game for us. It's a must-win in my eyes.
Yeah.
To get this season right on track after off some 3 losses.
Right. Or at least to keep it on track. I mean, yeah, right. We've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
We don't want to make it 4 in a row, because if we make it 4 in a row now, then it's probably going to be 5 in a row against the Los Angeles Clippers. And, that's not what we want. We want to get the wins that we feel we can get. Andy, what do you think about this game?
Yes, and like Joe said, this is a game that we got to stop the bleeding. We can't afford at this point, because we're still close to the 500 mark. And, dropping every game is going to be really hard for us to climb, because we're not one of those teams that when we hit the tracks, we're going to go like a run with like 10 win streak or something like that. We're going to chop on 2-3 and then take a loss, 2-3 and then take a loss. So, for us to get back over 500, if we fall more than 3 or 4 games, it's usually going to have, an implications like in the next 10 games. Right. So it's easier for the coach and the players to just be thinking about not falling that, far behind, just, staying in there.
Right. And that's what you got to do. Especially now, we can start now, right? We play Cleveland, we play the Los Angeles Clippers, 2 teams that are tough. But then the schedule is going to lighten up. It's going to start to lighten up. And if we can start now, we can win a couple games now, then move into this lighter schedule, we can start to really look good. And we're going to take a look at that schedule a little bit later. Josh, what's going on, man?
What's happening, y'all? Sorry I'm late. Salute to the chat. Salute to MBK family. Happy belated to my brother Sim.
Appreciate it.
Joe, get well soon. Soon. Rest in peace, Cicely Tyson. Rest in peace, old Temple coach John Chaney. He just passed away. We just got to worry about that.
Yeah, just caught that.
Yeah. So, it's just 2021 has been a really rough year on everybody.
Yeah, my pops just said that. Yeah, right.
Knicks, 2020 and 2021 has been really rough. The Knicks are lightening it up for us a little bit. They're giving us something to root for. That being said, we're not winning tonight. I don't think we're winning. And I don't think, but at the same time, I also don't think this is a must win. Prior to the season, the Knicks weren't expected to do anything. Be 8-12, 8-11. They weren't even expected to be that, that good or be that successful. So I don't expect us to win tonight. And if we do not, I don't think it's like it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? Because we didn't expect the Knicks to do that well anyway. So that's it.
But see, for me, my expectations change a little bit when I start to see how the team can play and things that they can do. My expectations begin to change, and I feel like this is a game that you got to get, because you play the Clippers so that you can stay in contention. And then, like, we play Chicago not back to back, but 2 games in a row. I don't mind playing teams
Chicago,
2 games in a row.
In Chicago too, right? Not at home.
Right, in Chicago. So when you play teams 2 games in a row, you're likely going to lose one of those games. You know what I mean? So if we want to stay in contention in that 10-8 seed, I think this is a game that we need to get. I'm not saying if we don't get it, the season is over. I'm not saying that. But I think this is a good one. As a rule, I think a lot of coaches, as a rule, tell their teams, we can't lose more than 3 in a row. You know what I'm saying? So we lose 3, we need to stop the bleeding. You know what I mean? I think this is one that the Knicks got to get, man.
Well, absolutely. I definitely agree with you. We need to win the game. I believe we can win the game. I just don't believe that we will. And again, when the Knicks were winning those games, I missed one of the shows. I guess it was really late. And Kev was like, see, Josh, it's not all about, the players. It's about the coach and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you got to have talent on the roster. And I think the Knicks' lack of talent over time will show, and that's what we've been seeing throughout the season. So one last thing, I've been predicting the Knicks to win the last few games, and they've been losing. So maybe if I switch it up and predict that they'll lose, that they'll actually win. So
yeah, but Josh, we didn't get swept. I'm gonna mute myself. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, our schedule also hasn't been in our favor. So for me, this 8-11 with the schedule that we've had, the travel schedule, 13 of the 19 games on the road, the number of playoff teams who were in the playoff running that we've played, teams over 500. I didn't take the time to see what the combined schedule of the teams that we've played, but I'm pretty sure is above 500. Because we've played a lot of good teams. The only teams that we've played that are really bad are Sacramento, and we lost to them. And they're not that bad because they've started to win a few games now. But we've lost to Sacramento, who is 7-10, 3 games below 500, just like we are. We've lost to who else we lose to? I mean, we lost to a lot of teams, but
Toronto.
We lost to Toronto. It's another team that's under 500. They're 7-11. Yeah, I don't know if we lost to anybody else under 500. That's under 500 right now. Right. Everybody else that we lost to is above 500. Oh no, Oklahoma City. They're 8-9. So, we've had a tough schedule, man. Now it's gonna lighten up, and they play majority of the games at home now. For the remainder of this half of the schedule, they play some teams. They don't play as tough of a schedule as far as teams are concerned. We'll see if they can, maybe win enough games to go back on top, get back on top of the record, get above 500. We'll see how it goes. Looking at the injury report, from what I have so far, I don't know what the Knicks have put out. This is from ESPN. Alec Burks is day-to-day and Reggie Bullock is day-to-day. Right? He's questionable for tonight's game against the Cavs. So we'll see. If I doubt that if he's questionable, normally they don't play when they're questionable. But knowing the Knicks, who knows? They could. All right, looking at the Cavs injury report, Larry Nance Jr. is day-to-day. All right, he's questionable for tonight's game. Then you got Lamar Stephen, who's questionable. Matthew Dellavedova is out, and Kevin Love is also out of the game. And when you compare the lineups, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Who, Kevin Love? Kevin Love ain't going to be playing this season.
Yeah, he's always hurt. He's always hurt.
Playing this season. When you look at the lineups, Elfrid Payton and Darius Garland.
No,
Alec Burks
look
and
at
Colin
Kev.
Sexton.
Look at Kev. Wait, hold up.
Hold up.
I
said, hold on. Let me finish now. Let me finish. Right? Eric, you got Burks and Colin Sexton. You got Reggie Barrett, Isaac Okoro, Julius Randle, Larry Nance Jr., Mitchell Robinson, and Andre Drummond. And then, of course, that Andre Drummond matchup to me is pretty much, that's pretty much a key to the game. The Andre Drummond matchup, and then, of course, the matchup on the guards. You know what I mean? And we need R.J. Barrett. Julius Randle should play well. We need R.J. Barrett to make sure he comes in, continues to shoot well, plays well. And then, one of these guard matchups. Alec Burks is going to have the size over Colin Sexton. Now, we'll see who's defending him. He should have the size advantage over Colin Sexton. I would go to Alec Burks a little bit today in this first quarter, see if maybe he can get him in the post. He doesn't really post up, but he probably can post up a little bit on Colin Sexton. Now, he's also got to guard Colin Sexton, which could be an issue, right? Because Colin Sexton's got that kind of speed. I'm not sure if Alec Burks can handle that kind of speed. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a change in the lineup. I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to go with Austin Rivers in the starting lineup instead of Alec Burks, right? Because of the size matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I don't know. Prince, what's going on with you, man? What's happening with you, brother? How you feeling? You got to unmute yourself.
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. Shout out to chat. Shout out to panel, man. I was just sending a happy birthday to my mom, man. Today her birthday. She been gone 4 years, but hey, man, she's still here in spirit. I miss her. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm a Knicks fan, y'all.
That's right.
So
right.
Shout out to chat. But, I think we're going to get this one, man. I think we're going to get this one. We need it. We need this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Looking at those matchups, man, do you think Alec Burks starts? Or do you think he might go with the Austin Rivers looking at the size matchups? Or does he try to exploit, or does he try to use Alec Burks to exploit that size matchup?
I think, honestly, I think they should probably go with the Austin Rivers look because I think Austin Rivers definitely will, I think he's as fast. I ain't going to say as fast as Colin Sexton, but I think, the size matchup will be a little bit better since Alex Burke is a little bit bigger, a couple steps slower than Austin Rivers. I think the matchup would be a little bit better to start the game because Colin Sexton has been playing awesome basketball. I would probably I think Burks and the fact that the second unit hasn't brought that spunk outside of Quickly last game, I think, it wouldn't be a bad fit to bring Burks back with that second unit and kind of let Austin Rivers get out there with the first unit because I don't think he's not going – obviously, he won't give you the same offensive production he gave us last week, but I think he'll do a better job defensively probably on Sexton and Garland switching with EP than Burks would.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I did not like the way it looked with Austin Rivers in the starting lineup when they did it a couple weeks ago. I didn't like it, but I'd understand if they went to it because of the matchups. Let me get you a phone call. Caller, you live. What's poppin'?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you loud and clear.
Is there any echo? Is it all good?
Nah, you good.
Okay. Yeah, man. So a couple things. It infuriates me when Tibbs sticks to this philosophy of playing veterans. Case in point number one, Manuel Quickly. We all saw it in the preseason. The kid comes on. He brings a spark to this team immediately on the offense. Forget about the points. There's a bounce to his step when he steps on the floor. We could all see it in the preseason. Why on God's green earth is he starting Elfrid Payton out there night after night? This season is all about player development, yeah? What good does it bring us if we eke out 4 or 5 extra wins a season? Play the young guys. This has nothing to do with Tibbs. A couple of seasons ago, they had this kid, Alonzo Trier. You think we could use Alonzo Trier scoring right now? They got this sweet shooting lefty, Brad Dacus buried on the bench. And I'm not saying he's going to turn out to be Kevin McHale or anything, but the kid could score. He's tough. You drafted him. Why are you trotting Alex Burke out there night after night? We know what he is. He can't score. Elfrid Payton. How about
Burks
that guy?
Can't score? You said Alec Burks can't score?
I don't think he could score. I mean, we know what he is. That's the point. We know what his ceiling is. We don't know what Pinson, Brad Dacus is. You don't know until you put them out there. And this notion that, well, if he was any good in practice, he could play and the coach would play him. BS. Because if that was the case,
really,
coaches get it wrong most of the time, right? Otherwise, Brady wouldn't be a 6th-round pick, and Curry would have been the 1st overall pick. More often than not, coaches and executives get it wrong.
But see, I disagree because I think, all right, they drafted Brady in the 6th round, and he came in and he proved what he could do, and they put him in the game. I think that
because the guy got hurt in front of him.
That's
Otherwise,
true.
we'd never know who Brady was.
That's true, but I'm pretty sure that Belichick knew and was looking at him and said, "Yeah, this guy can play." You know what I mean? And it was a time. There was a, whenever he was ready, he was. Maybe I don't know what the contract situation and all that kind of stuff was like back then, but our young guys are playing. Mitchell Robinson, R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin,
Okay, you heard about the tweet that Robertson, as you guys know, is frustrated with his role. All they do for Robertson is putbacks. The kid, if you watch his high school tapes, he has a little jump shot, but they've relegated him to just putbacks and everything. But run some plays for him in the offense.
But what I'm saying, but that has nothing to do with his minutes on the floor. He's playing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what they're doing is offensively. We would all like for him to shoot, but he's playing. As far as Quickly, right? I mean, the only way for you to develop is not just to be in the starting lineup. Well, I mean, that's not the only way for you to develop. I think that you can develop coming off the bench. You can develop.
100%.
I mean, and as far as Theo
100%,
Pinson and Iggy
the other guys
Brasdikis
are, man. We don't know. Like, listen. Okay, RJ Barrett with his sub 40% shooting and sub 30, whatever he's shooting from three, like, quickly should get just as much of a green light.
He does.
The team can't score. Like, what's the point of this season if we're not playing the guys to see what they are? Like,
but listen, but that's what I'm saying.
They're not going to be here in a couple years.
Quickly has the green light. That's the reason why he works in the second unit, because he can get the green light to shoot. Quickly shoots whenever he wants. Like, quickly shoots the ball.
2 games or so, but we'll see. I'm just lobbying for him to have just as much of a green light as Barrett. And I'm all for just playing the other guys on the bench, man. As much as, guys might say, well, if they're any good, then coach would put them in. BS. You don't know until the guy's out there with the lights shining.
All right. I disagree, because I think that those guys, if they can't beat out players that's on our team, how you expect that they're going to be better than another team's starters or whoever? I disagree. I think you got to build that trust from the coaching practice first.
Well, I think this is more to do with, and this last thing I'll say, I think this has more to do with Tibbs being an egomaniac, sticking to his philosophy, as opposed to, running the team based on, guys earning their minutes based on merit, or at least giving the guys a shot. I mean, this is a team that's barely going to make the playoffs. You're telling me Brasdikis is not good enough to get a couple of minutes?
Yeah, I am telling you that. I don't think he's good enough.
Come on, bro.
And I don't think Theo Pinson's good enough, man. I don't think either one of those guys are good enough. And I don't think, once Iggy's contract is over, I don't think he'll be with the team.
Until you play him. You don't know until you play him.
You know by what you see in practice. That's what I'm saying. But, you can see in practice, can they compete with the guys we have on this team? I mean, you brought up Alonzo Trier. Alonzo Trier is not even in the league on any other team. He's in the G League right now.
That doesn't mean anything, man. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, could we use his scoring right now? I mean, the narrative is that, well, he doesn't play defense. Nobody plays defense in the NBA. There's only a few exceptional defenders, and then there's everybody else. This narrative, well, he doesn't play defense. Give me a break, guys.
Okay.
Regurgitating sports nonsense.
I appreciate your call, man. Look forward to hearing from you again. I appreciate your call.
Most definitely.
All right. Have a good one.
Yo, Black, it's time to hang up the phone. Hang up the phone. That was the most idiotic, dreadful call I've ever heard in my life. Emmanuel Quickly's playing more minutes than Peyton. He's literally on the floor more than Elfrid Payton. He shoots 38-foot 3-pointers whenever he wants. Like, how much of a, like, I don't understand what they want, like what they really want. Just because you're not starting does not mean you're not getting more playing time.
I think that guy I think he's still caught up in that rebuild stuff. That's
the whole thing.
I'm going to agree with one thing. Yeah, I'm going to agree with one thing with the guy, that Tibbs might be a maniac, but at this point, he's still on the good side of being a maniac.
Right. I mean, this is a year where you can't really say that young guys are not playing. You can't. Half of our rotation are guys that are under 23 years old. Half of our rotation. Quickly, Obi, Mitch, RJ, Knox. That's half of the rotation are guys under 23. And then
not to mention that in 2012 when we had that run in deep into the playoffs, right, with Melo, that I don't think we had guys 25 years of age playing on that team. We had all old guys, and we have now Julius and the rest of the crew is like 25, 26. So
right. I mean, the only person that's 30 years old on the team or older is Taj Gibson. He's not playing. He's on the bench somewhere. Right? I mean, it's all young guys. And if by young guys, he means Theo Pinson and Iggy Brasdikis. I'm sorry, bro. Those guys are not playing for us. Like Theo Pinson is on his team simply because they like what he brings to the locker room. Literally. You know what I'm saying? And Iggy Brasdeikis is on the team because it's RJ Barrett's buddy. You know,
morale, camaraderie. That's it.
You know, that's about it, man. That's a fun call, though. That was a fun call. Cornerstone, I know we got one guy not playing, and I appreciate you for purchasing that hoodie. It looks dope too.
Yeah, it is cool. That's cool. Yeah, what I was gonna say was that caller sounded like someone who wanted to use the young guys to lose and get trying to get the number one pick. That's what it sounded like to me, because the way he was talking, he was like, what's 5 more games? What did he say? Like, what's 5 more games that we win or lose or something like that? That just sounds like a loser's mentality, pretty much.
A tank job.
Yeah. Maybe.
Exactly, Josh. A tank job.
Unless Theo and Iggy have the same agent, and that was his agent. That was their agent calling in. I don't know. I don't know who their agent is. Maybe that was the agent calling in, like, yo, my guys need to play.
Yeah, could have been worse. They could have thought it was Steve Mills, like, you know, like they thought it was me and everything. So,
but it's it is what it is. Good call. Give me a call, ladies and gentlemen. 516-405-2246. Chop, go ahead, man. Look like you got something to say.
Nah, I want to pick up what Kev was saying, because he said it for me. Like, thank you, Kev. You said it for me first.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's what he sounded like. Yeah, like he wanted a tank job. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
Tibbs ain't about that. Tibbs is not about that. He's about, you know.
And Tibbs is a stubborn. He is a stubborn coach. You know what I'm saying? There is no doubt about that. He's definitely a stubborn coach. You know, he's gonna do it his way. Like, you know, like the player said, it's his way or the highway. You know what I mean? And that's the way it has to be sometimes.
Exactly.
You know, that's the way it has to be sometimes. Caller, you live. What's popping?
What's going on, fellas? Yo,
What's going on?
I want to run something by y'all. I want to see what y'all think.
All right.
It's a trade idea. Tell me if it's possible or not. All right. So, Charlotte will get Julius Randle. Chicago will get Terry Rozier and our 2 first-rounders from Dallas, and we would get Zach LaVine. It works on the trade machine, so tell me if y'all think it's possible or not.
Oh, say it over. Say it one more time.
Charlotte will get Julius Randle. Chicago will get Terry Rozier, and our first those 2 picks that we got from Dallas, the first rounders, and we get Zach LaVine. It works on the trade machine, so just let me know if it's something you guys think is possible or not, or am I just one of those Knicks fans that come up with these ridiculous trades in my head?
Well, I mean, it's something that probably could work, but my question is, does it make us better?
Zach LaVine will bring that shooting that we desperately need.
I mean, but do you want to
lose Randall?
Right? Don't you want to add that shooting to having Randall and RJ here, or add that scoring to Randall and RJ?
I love the idea of Randall, but we got to accept the fact that Randall is being showcased. Every time I see him, every time I watch him play, it's so clear to me he's being showcased. You know that period where they putting the ball in the person's hand just to show other teams what they can do. Randall is being showcased for some bigger idea down the line, and it might come this year, it might come in the off season, but Randall is not in the Knicks. I don't think he's in the Knicks' long-term future plans. I just don't see it. I honestly think he's either going to go by the trade deadline or he's going this offseason. He's going somewhere, and they're going to bring somebody in, but Randall is not in our future plans. He's playing great, but he's just not in the plans.
So why not? I mean, he could be or could not. I'm just asking you, why don't you think so?
He just doesn't work too well with Barrett. It was clear last season. You kind of see it this season. He kind of tweaked his game a little bit this season, but spacing just doesn't fit with him and Barrett on the floor.
I mean, is it him and Barrett, or is it other people around him?
I honestly see it with him and Barrett. I haven't really been paying attention with other people around him, like other Like when he's playing with like Mitch. Like I seen him play with Mitch the other day, right? He got the ball to Mitch. Mitch was in the paint by himself, just jumping up and down, like, give me the ball, give me the ball. And it's like Randall was just in a zone where he was just looking for other people, and he just didn't see that. I don't know. It's just with certain people, Randall just doesn't play too well with them on the floor. I don't know. I just don't see him in people plans with the Knicks. He just doesn't fit with certain people on the floor. And I just honestly think he's going to leave. Trade either this offseason or maybe this deadline.
Okay. All right. I appreciate the call, man. And we'll talk about it a little bit. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye, folks.
So, I don't understand. I think that I know that they played, you're going to have some players that they get together and they automatically click. Sometimes you're going to have to work through it and let it grow and let it develop. They clearly played better together. At the end of last season, they started to play better together. They played better together this year. Why wouldn't it make sense that they would play even better next year together? You know what I'm saying? And people keep on saying so-and-so doesn't fit, or Randall doesn't fit with so-and-so. How do you know so-and-so doesn't fit with Randall? I mean, you don't know we don't know what they're thinking about, about Randall or RJ Barrett and how they want to make things work. But Randall is just 26 years old. He still has a lot to learn mentally about the game, too. Now, he's going to reach that point where, physically he's not going to get faster or stronger. And he's probably at that point and he's going to grow mentally and he's going to get better mentally. From everything that I hear, they like his approach to the game and what he brings to the game, especially, just being a professional, coming into shape, working hard, those type of things. Maybe he's right. Maybe Randall does go. I actually think they're looking at Randall and RJ right now and saying, yeah, you know what? We might have something and let's see how this goes. And Randall will be here next year because the team has a nice contract with Randall, $19 million for next season. They'll probably pick up the option. And if they feel like it's not going to go anywhere next year, then they have a nice option. You have an expiring contract that you can trade, and do whatever with. But I think it would be crazy with the way that he's playing this year and the way that RJ is beginning to play to say that this is not going to work. I think that you would want to see it the rest of this year and see what happens next year. 3 years together. Now you got 3 years together. You really start to develop and build something. It wouldn't make any sense to me not to try to keep these guys together for a little bit and see if they can build something. Andy, what do you think, man?
Yeah, for me at this point, I don't think we should even entertain any Randall, talks. Like fan scenarios for trading Randall. This is not going to happen unless Randall comes out and says, "I don't want to be here." But that's not going to happen soon. So, as I see it, and I actually this trade scenario when I would maybe think about trading 1-for-1, but I would have to think on it really long. But adding those 2 first-round picks, that's a no-go from
deal breaker,
just from the jump. So no way that's going to happen. Right. But and also the thing that is bizarre for me. Listen, we're in a similar situation as the Chicago Bulls, right? Only we got Julius Randle, they got Zach LaVine. So I don't see where are these bizarre rumors coming that LaVine is on the market even. If he doesn't come out and says that I don't want to be here, they have no point in trading him, just like we don't have a point in trading Julius Randle, unless it's for a bigger star, right? So that's only thing. But I don't see we have, these kind of trade scenarios should be shut down just at the beginning. So
I think
it's not going to happen for sure.
I think the only thing with Zach LaVine is that there's a little bit of concern or question as to whether or not Chicago wants to pay him. I think there's a little bit of question there whether or not Chicago wants to pay him. But I think if he's the main guy, they're going to have to pay him. Because if not, they're going to lose him for nothing. So
No, it's that,
Right.
or he should be coming on like next week saying that he doesn't want to be there.
Well, he has a whole nother year on his contract. It's not an option for him or the team.
Yeah, so
a whole nother year. So you see what that looks like. But I think that's the question: are they going to want to pay him what he's going to think he's worth? And I think the question comes in because of the injury history too.
Yeah, but Sim, still, if he has a next season he's next season under contract, then why just not keep him and then try to trade him as an expiring contract? He's going to be even more attractive.
Right.
So for me, every Zach LaVine story is like if someone would report that the Knicks are looking to shop Julius Randle. That's BS. So I don't think we should even entertain it.
So many people just, are like, oh, just trade him right now and get draft picks and this and that. I just think without you. And I seen someone in the chat say, maybe, they asked the question, maybe we have something, talk about Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. Then he put, we are overachieving. That's what happens when you have young teams. They start to overachieve, and then that overachieving becomes habit. Like, it becomes that they're no longer overachieving. That's what happens. The Brooklyn Nets overachieved, and then they were able to bring in players. The Los Angeles Clippers overachieved. That is how you build it, right? We see it as overachieving. The team may not see it as overachieving. They may see it as this is what we could do. We just needed something different from the coaching. Maybe we needed, another scorer and quickly, whatever it is, you needed something else. And now you start to play better, right? We see it as overachieving. They may not see it as overachieving, right? It's all about perspective.
Right.
You know what I mean? Steph, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy belated birthday, Sim. Shout out to the panel, the chat. I miss you guys. I'm happy to be back. I got a lot to say. I missed a few shows. I was able to watch it. Can I say something about the possibly going for Beal, or are we past that?
No, go ahead. Just jump in there.
So a few points. Number one, everyone who wants to build through the draft and hold on to the young pieces, you can forget it. If we were going young in development, we would have hired Kenny Atkinson. We hired Tibbs. So that tells you already the direction that this team is going. So yes, we like our young people. Don't get too attached. Some of them are not going to be here. So before I talk about Beal, I just want to set up what I'm about to say. There's different ways to build a team. For me, I'm thinking piece by piece, step by step. Which piece gets us a little step closer? Somebody like Beal, probably 2 steps, closer. Mm-hmm. But it's piece by piece, step by step. 8th seed, maybe 6th seed, then the 4th seed. We can bring AD in right now. We're not going from out of the playoffs to the number 2 seed. We're just not built that way right now. It's piece by piece, step by step. That being said, I like a core of Randle, RJ, and Beal. So instead of saying who I would give up, I'm going to go the expansion team route and say what I would protect. I would protect Randle. Okay. I would protect RJ. And I would like to keep at least one of our picks this year. Washington, and this is just me, don't kill me, Washington can have their pick of the rest. If you want Mitch, you want Obi, you want IQ, you want the first round picks, the second round picks, whatever you want. I like that core because if you have that, what kind of point guard you need? Somebody that could defend the position, play, make, and hit the 3. What kind of center do you need? Somebody that could defend the position, rebound, block a shot here or there. Then you were in position to take another step because now you can attract, a free agent. We still have cap space. Bradley Beal at $28 million is cheap. That is cheap looking at what everybody else. So those 2 players, RJ, Randle, I would protect. build those three, and you still got to build. It's still piece by piece, step by step. So all of those people, that's just going to get us to the 7th seed. Okay. No matter what we do, we're not going right to the 2nd seed. It's going to be step by step, piece by piece. So that's Bradley Beal is legit. Randall, this is my last part I want to say about RJ. I looked at Ingram's first 2 years in the league. I looked at Tatum's first 2 years in the league, because when I think about Randall, those are the two guys I think about. RJ's stats, though not as efficient, are better than those two guys. That's how it is. You start off, you get better your second year, you get better your third. Those guys was like 14, 5, and 2. One might have been 15, 5.5, and 3. Randall's second year stats are better than theirs, RJ, I'm saying not as efficient. RJ, in my opinion, is ascending. Randall, in my opinion, is ascending. You add Beal to that, and then you're going to need other pieces. You're going to need veteran pieces. You're going to need somebody to come off the bench. We can't get too attached to these young teams. Look at the Lakers. They shedded whoever they shedded, D'Angelo Russell or whoever they did to sign to create the cap space for LeBron. Then the next year, Ingram, Lonzo, or whoever to get AD. We're not getting extra points if we go to the championship with our own draft picks. You're not getting any extra points for that. You're just trying to build the best team you can build, whether we keep our young people or we use them as chips. As assets, you're trying to win a championship. So everybody, we got to build to the draft. We got to keep our peak. No, they're assets. This is about the Knicks as a team, not about any individual player. That's all I got.
Can I piggyback off what she said? So Steph, I think you're absolutely right. But at the same time, I don't think we get Bill without giving up RJ. So if RJ Barrett is included in that trade for Bill, I still think that's a step in the right direction, because Bill is way better than RJ. So pairing up Bill with Randall is great to me, and I think the Knicks go in the right direction with that combo.
They do that. I would hold out to the last minute. I would hold out for the last minute for that. The last minute, because RJ is going to be the real deal. Look at Ingram, look at Tatum. He's going to be the real deal. I would give up all of my draft picks before I give up RJ. But if we keep RJ, then we'll keep some of our draft picks, because the draft picks it's a crapshoot. The draft. Look at Knox. No disrespect, he's developing. Look at our draft picks. There's no guarantee with these draft picks. You can get somebody, if you draft well, in the middle of the first, the late first, like Miami does, like San Antonio. I don't even think those are draft picks. I don't even know where they're getting their players from. And they develop them. So we got to stop acting like these draft picks are surefire things. They are not.
They not. Kev, I see you shaking your head, Kev. Go ahead, Kev. I see you shaking your head.
I want to jump out of the room.
Stephanie, I'm with you on all that, except, and Josh, I'll deal with you in a minute. I'm not giving up Mitch. I am not, because he is. I'm not. I agree with you on everybody else. Everybody, even the Frank, he can go too. All of them, and the draft picks can go as well. I don't want to give up Frank because if you have a Frank,
Mitch.
Yes. Because no.
Because what?
No.
And can I have 1 minute to rebuttal before you go to Josh? But go ahead.
You look at him. You look at him right now. This is his third season. Look at Gobert and look at Andre Drummond. They weren't great right now in their first 2 years.
Right.
This is Mitch is that diamond in the rough. He is that foundation. That's why they call me Cornerstone, because I said that RJ Barrett and him that's your foundation right there. I don't want to give up a piece of that foundation. Let
me tell you something.
And Josh, I'm not giving up RJ for nothing. All right. And
this is what I have to say about Mitch. Mitch is a diamond in the rough. I mean, he is definitely better now than he was a year or two ago. But what is his potential ceiling?
What is his potential ceiling? Once he gets that jump shot and once he gets that hook shot, that's it.
If he gets it. I mean, I hear you. I don't see Mitch ceiling being that high. I see him as a rim runner, rebounder. And I'm not saying he won't reach it. He could be better than that, but I'm not putting my money on that. And if I can get opportunity to get Beal and pair him with RJ and Randall, I'm ready to move on from Mitch. That's just me.
Yeah, if I have to move Mitch to get Beal, he's gone. That's easy money for me. That's easy money for me. That's easy money for me. He's out of there. Sorry, Mitch. I like Mitch, but if I gotta move him to get Beal, that's easy money for me. I'm not even thinking about it.
He's like 4 years away. All right, maybe 3 years away.
I'm not even thinking about it because I'm not even thinking about it. Prince.
Oh man, they was calling me in the chat, man. They needed my hot takes, man. So I gotta serve them. So I'm with Uncle Fulio, man. I know y'all be thinking me and Uncle Fulio we be clowning, but I gotta stand with him. Like I know we love RJ, and I know Sim. That's your match made in heaven, dream lineup.
I love RJ.
RJ in there, but I hate to say it, y'all. It's either one or two things. We stay pat with the, like Steph said, the win with our own kids method, or we have to give up the talent. And as much as y'all love to kill me about Knox, nobody's gonna move for Knox, y'all. So you can might as well say the best talent to move would be RJ. I know he's got the ascending talent and all of that, but I truly believe, again, Beal, Levine, any of those trades would put us over the top. And if RJ and Mitch has to be the guys that got to go, you got to pull a trigger. Like, I mean,
I did say I would wait to the very last minute.
I don't think it puts you over the top if you're moving RJ too. It makes you better.
Because now it's just Randall and Bill.
Now it's just Randall and Bill. It makes you better, but to put you over the top, you need to have RJ as well, I think, to really start to move you forward. But if you trade RJ for Beal, it makes you better, but I don't think it puts you over the top.
You're going to still need more.
And see, my not necessarily my rebuttal to that is, I mean, I guess we got to understand what we have in our, what cards we got in our hand, guys. And like we said, if you give up RJ, that gives you the leeway to say, I'm only giving you Dallas's 2 picks, or I'm only going to give you one of Dallas's pick, and I'll give you one of our future first rounders in 2025, 2026. Something like that. But any other way, you're going to have to give up even more assets. And my thing is, I'm saying, if we know this 2021 draft is supposed to be what it says it is, I'm pretty sure one of those kids, if you can end up with a Suggs, you can end up with a Jonathan Kumingas, or one of those guys, he would step in and fill RJ's spot, is what I'm saying. And yeah, it would hurt us to lose a guy that we drafted and a guy who wants to be here. But like everybody,
just like Carmelo. It'll be just like Carmelo.
No, not
just like Carmelo.
No, not necessarily. No.
Still need more pieces.
That thing whatever.
Yeah, we giving up.
You're giving up players and you're giving up picks. Come on, y'all.
Listen,
but it's not.
I thought we moved away from that.
But
you're going to have to give to get it. It's just being smart about it.
Yeah,
and what you're giving it up for.
Right, Kev. The reason why it's not like the whole thing with Melo is because you have way more assets and way more cap space to be able to build and add your team.
Still add, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, I don't want to give up RJ in it, right? But I'd give up Mitch in a heartbeat. I'd give up Mitch in a heartbeat for Bill. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like
I can be in a minority. I don't care if I'm in a minority.
I'm just saying because I feel like you can find that production elsewhere.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like you can find that production elsewhere.
Where?
Kevin Cornerstone. RJ has just started to give up 20 points a game over the last 5 games.
And what's wrong with that?
I'm talking about.
Why are we just giving up on a player right now? All for one player?
No, listen,
for one player.
Yeah, what we're talking about is the potential to take us 2 steps further. Like Steph said, we are right now
one injury away from that.
Okay, anybody. RJ is. All of them are. Everybody's one injury away.
Have other players in that.
Okay,
that's an insurance. That's an insurance policy. We have other players. You do. If Bradley Beal, we give all these players just for Bradley Beal, and he goes out. What you got then?
Okay,
Brandon and RJ, which is, you know,
it's a crapshoot, Kev, and you're right. But again, the odds are in your favor. If you're an 8 to 10 seed, Kev, listen to me real quick. We are an 8 to 10 seed right now, as the roster is constructed right now. The first 20 games of the season, we are an 8 to 10 seed team. That's it. Well, I mean, RJ, Julius, Knox, all of them. If, like Steph said, if you bring in a Beal, he takes you 2 steps further. Now we are arguably a 4th to 6th seed type of team. We're still not there.
Right.
We're still not
trying, but we're trying to get there. We're trying to get there.
But that's how you get there.
But that's how you get there.
That's how to start. Piece by piece. You got to add pieces.
We're easily, if we keep this.
It's like y'all want to cut all. It's like you guys want to slash everything.
Kev, no, I'm not saying that. But
what are you saying? What you're saying? We're going with. Wait a minute. If we're going with the thinking. If we're going with the premise of what Stephanie just said, which I have no problem with, but if we're going with that premise of everybody just for one player,
I didn't say everybody. They would pick from that pool. I didn't say we would give everybody. Just pick from that pool.
Pick from that pool.
Right. Yeah, we're not going to give up 7 players, Kev.
But you guys, you also said you would give up the picks as well, the first rounders and the second rounders.
But not every one of them.
Right.
Not every one of them. They're on the table.
Pick from that pool. They're on the table. That's it.
If we trade for Bradley Beal, just picks, Kev, it'll cost us about 7 first-round picks.
If you don't give up no
the
players.
way you offset that is you say, I'll give you Mitch. That's a first-rounder. I'll give you RJ. That's a first-rounder. Maybe even more. So now you say, okay, I'm only going to give you 2. Dallas is 2 firsts, and I'll give you 3 seconds and one of our future firsts. You still didn't give up too much for Bradley Beal.
I'm telling you right now. You do that, we're going to have 10 more years of misery.
Well, Ken, Andy, can I with our current team right now, we are still 3 to 5 years away from being a 3 to 5 seed. So you telling me you're willing to
Bradley? You do that with Bradley. That's 10 more years.
All right, let me get to Andy. Go ahead, Andy.
I done pissed Kev off. I see. I'm sorry.
I just want to say that I basically agree with everything Steph said. I would just add a really important thing that she didn't mention about the length of the contracts of the player that we acquire and stuff like that. So we don't get screwed or for too long or too short contracts. Because, trading several assets for a short contract, it's not going to be, it's going to be too risky. But for, I'm not saying exactly about even Bradley Beal, right? Just of the philosophy of building a squad, right? And the only thing, Steph, you were wrong. You should have, at the beginning, just say, we're just going to keep Frank. So Kev, blood pressure is going to be safe. And he wouldn't be mad. And we can go ahead with another topic.
All right. Go ahead, Divine. And then I'm going to come to Joe.
All that sounds good. I agree. Bill is good. But I want to talk about what the first call, when that caller called up about that trade. Other than the draft picks, he was dead on about the trade because Randall, what was his name? Rozier and Levine, they all got 1 year left on their contract. So that was a good trade, except other than the draft picks. Knowing that Mitch Kupchak drafted Julius Randle, that's why I see why he said that, because Kupchak wanted him last year. The Knicks they were going to do the Malik Monk and Rozier for Randle last year, but somebody said no. So I can understand why he said it. And another reason why I understand why he said it, if you would bring Levine in for Randle, here's another thing. you could get a stretch four who's taller, who could rebound like Randall, being that Levine is getting the points that Randall's getting, because you got to think about the teams you're going up against in the playoffs. AD and whoever. They got them 2 7-footers in the league now. Everybody that's going in these championship modes seems like they got them big dudes up front, 2 of them. I'm not saying I would do it, guys, but I'm just saying I can understand why he said it. Because, and second of all, the contract is good. The contract is good. I like the Bill trade, but I think Bill and Randall together, that's almost $50-something million, bro. $50-something million. And if you give up RJ, who's going to be that third star? You ain't going to get him for no $8-10 million. So I like the Bill trade. I don't like it just because him and Randall, their money is almost eat up all our cap space, just them 2.
No, that's not true. We got teams with 1 player with making $40 million.
I understand that, but let me just finish my point. I thought I'm trying to let me finish my point. I don't want to argue. I'm not arguing. I'm just trying to get my point in. I understand. I like the trade, but Bill is not going to do nothing for us that he's not doing for Washington, because he got Westbrook, Bertrands, and all these other cats. And I don't think he puts us to a contender. I think he's a great scorer, good defense player. I don't think he's on that level where he's going to take us to another level. Because if you trade RJ for Bill, okay, that's cool. But Bill in Washington with a bunch of goods when he had John Wall, and they didn't go nowhere. So he's not really a LeBron or one of them guys. If you give a house for him, he's going to put us to the 4th, 3rd seed. I don't think it's going to happen.
But listen, remember, New Orleans didn't go anywhere with AD. You got to have a certain mix. You got to have a certain mix.
Yeah. And at the same time, DC plays no defense at all whatsoever. You can't blame a player.
I'm not blaming him. I'm just trying to make comparisons, bro.
I got you. What I'm saying is, people say, well, Westbrook, had a losing record in Washington, or Houston, they got to the playoffs and they got swept by the Lakers. You can't blame a particular player because the team is not doing that well. To put it in better terms, you can't say Anthony Davis was the reason why the Pelicans didn't go to the playoffs all those years. You can't say it was his fault.
Yeah, we understand that. That's an organizational thing. His talent. I'm not blaming Bill. All I'm trying to say is I don't have if we make the trade, that's cool. I love to have Bill here, but I just think that we got to also look at how far is he going to take us. Then, you know what? Let's just keep RJ, keep Randall, and sign somebody else. See, that's all I'm saying. You can keep RJ and Randall and sign the star with the cap space we got, but if you give it to Bill, then we're not going to be able to sign that other dude that's going to help us get to that 1, 2, and 3.
We'll still have cap space, I think. Though.
I think we will, but you got to look at his contract. His contract goes from 28 to 30-something. Randall's is 20 next year, so 30 and 20 is 54. That's that 1 year, I'm just saying. So then are you going to sign Randall again after that? If you sign Randall, he's going to want about 25, 30, because now that you're going to have to pay him more. So between him and Bill in that 1 year after next year, that's almost $60 million in cap space. Who you going to put with them guys? That's all.
Look at the top two players on any team. They making just that.
I mean, but when you look at it, right? Even if they were making $60 million, the salary cap is going to be about 115.
Right.
So you still got $55 million to use on other players. And if you still have RJ, you still got RJ. If you still have RJ, which I would hope we would, if you still have RJ, he's still on his rookie contract. So you got him on his rookie contract for a little while, and hopefully he begins to outplay his rookie contract. Now, if it's working with those three, because Bill's contract ends not next season, but the following season, right, where there's a team option. If it's not working, then you let it rock, and you got $37 million to play with and use to do whatever you need to do. But now you tried those 3 players, you know what I'm saying? And then if it is working, and you've got to sign Randall, you got to sign Bill, you got RJ, you can go over the cap now because you have control of their contracts. Now you can go over the cap, to a limit to sign other players. But look at what's been happening in the league. There's no guarantee that it will happen with us. But if you did bring in a Bill and you were able to keep an RJ doing it, right? Because I like the way Stephanie put it. Listen, I'm keeping Randall. I'm keeping RJ. Whoever else, I don't know who else. If you put somebody else in there,
that's it. And
right. Everything else. If you want Mitch and Frank and Knox and Obi, I'm just making stuff up. Boom, you know, we can make it work, right? But look what happened. Look what's happening in Brooklyn now. Andre Drummond is looking to get bought out so he can take a cheap contract to go play in Brooklyn because he wants to be part of what's going on in Brooklyn because he feels like I can win me a championship and still be part of this team.
It is a players' league. It is a players' league.
They have to want to play for you. Even disgruntled players give the management a list where they want to go. If we're not showing that we're improving, then we're not going to be on any list for any disgruntled player.
I can understand Andre Drummond wanting to go there because, you know, he getting bought out, but he is getting this 28, 30 million that he's getting bought out for too. So I understand that. All I'm saying, when I was talking about earlier, Jay, they said, if you're going to keep RJ and do Bill, I have no problem with that. Because now you got three legit dudes. But when they said put RJ in that package, I just like that's why I said I'm not sure.
I said no. You know I would not.
I don't think you move RJ just to get Bill. I just don't think you should do
I get it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm with that. I don't want to move RJ to get Bill either because I kind of feel like it defeats the purpose. It pushes you ahead a little bit, but to me, it doesn't do what you want to do as far as adding to RJ and Randall. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask Divine this, though? If we keep RJ, are you willing then you're going to have to give up more draft picks and more pieces if you're going to keep Randall and RJ?
Right. Oh, absolutely. In a heartbeat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, no draft picks ain't guaranteed. That's I think why they got them all, just to do that.
Exactly.
To build,
exactly.
Yeah.
Man. Andy, go ahead, Andy, and then I'm going to come over to Joe because I've been
just to clear up the smoke here. We're in the situation that in the next offseason, we are going to be able to sign 2 max free agents while keeping Randall and RJ.
But who out there?
But Steph, just hypothetically, right? So we can sign 2 max players and have RJ and Randall, and then we can pull a trade for Beal, and then we have 4 great all-star players, basically.
But who's in free agency that you're going to sign to 2 max contracts?
I'm just saying that we are in a situation, right? On this offseason, we can, say, okay, we don't have anyone to say. We're not going to, use all the money and wait another year. And we have to wait and be patient till it's going to be that time to pull the moves so we don't get stuck for another 8, 6, 10 even years, right? That's why I said, I agree with your points 100%. Just looking at the contracts, the lengths and stuff, that has to be taken in account so we don't get screwed for another 4 years and get RJ's prime ruined and stuff like that.
This is what I will say. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's why also to add to your philosophy, I would add that you have to start the rebuild with the draft, and when you have like 2 draft picks that you are willing to keep no matter what, then you go and acquire the rest of the assets because you're going to have a clear cap situation, space to sign free agents, max, not max or whatever. And then you're going to have also rest of the assets that, the first round picks, the second round picks that didn't pan out in 100% that you liked, but you're going to have them on cheap contracts as, rotation basically players because you won't stick with vet guys that only take up minutes and stuff like that. They're going to be noticed on the court, so basically it would be easier to trade. But that's like a 20-year plan, right? So
I will say that it's easy. Everybody's talking about the cap getting tied up. This is not 5 years, 10 years ago. Right. Teams have capologists now. You can get off a contract easy. Look how Philly got off of Al Horford's contract. They put an asset and they got off it. So I wouldn't be too concerned about getting stuck. When they're making these moves, they're thinking 2 and 3 steps ahead, 2 and 3 years ahead. If this doesn't pan out, we can go this way. If it does, we can go this way. They're not just making it based on this year. They are thinking ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Just, if I was I would rather play it safe. I'm a Knicks fan for so long. I see so many BS things done by the GMs that I rather, waste another year, 2, even 3, and just play it out safe and, not like, go gung-ho and trade for everyone,
Tibbs is going to be 67 by then. They didn't bring Tibbs in for that.
I saw not only, Tibbs as the coach for the Knicks, so.
Joe, go ahead, Joe. Then I'm going to get to a caller.
Yeah, I definitely do that trade. I don't know what Kevin's talking about keeping Mitch. So you won't give up an 8 and 9 guy for a 35-point scorer. You're crazy, man. You can get a rim runner anywhere. Literally what Mitch does, you can go into the second round of next year's draft and get what Mitch does.
We might have some guys on the G League team coming in this year on Westchester Knicks that can come in and block some shots and run the rim.
Yeah, no, you definitely, because what you do then is you take Randall and RJ off the table, you get anybody else can go, picks can go. What you could do then is having Beal, Randall, and RJ, Kawhi Leonard might look and be like, because if the Clippers don't win a chip this year, he could be looking out. He might opt out of that deal and look. Because if they don't, literally the Clippers have to win a chip, I believe, have to win a chip or be in the finals for him to stay. So if he looks at an opportunity with having Bradley, the 35-point scorer, having Randall who can hit 20 and 10, RJ 20-point score, he could look at the Knicks as a big spot to come. And then
I don't know where he would fit. Yeah, if you got RJ, Bill, and Randall, I don't know where I don't know where Kawhi fits in there, because you got to have a point, unless you're going to put Bill at the point guard.
Or you can have RJ come off the bench, but I'm not going there. Go ahead.
But that's the thing. That's the thing about basketball. Like you have to make talent work, no matter what the position is. Yeah. You got to make talent work.
All right.
So Beal could run the point. RJ can run the point. We see him facilitate, and it'll be easier for him running the point on a team with that talent than with him running the point with us now. So you could work. You could make it work. Definitely. You could, and then even if it's not Kawhi, there's
you get those guys. You're gonna find the right pieces. The right pieces. You get 3 guys like that, and it's working, and they're looking good. The right pieces are gonna come to you. You better believe that. You'll figure out how to build around it. But we need talent. We need talent, man. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Yo, what's up? This is Latrell Sprewell's The American Dream. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
Hey, what's up, Latrell? This is what we need to do. Okay.
All right.
Austin Rivers. Austin Rivers should have been kept in that game. I understand he had 3 fouls, but when a guy makes every single basket like he does, you need to keep him in the game. That's a different conversation. Here's what we need to do: Mitchell Robinson and R.J. Barrett. I've been pleased. I wasn't pleased with Mitch last game. We need to focus on our guys. We do not need to trade anybody right now. I still am in the evaluation period with these gentlemen. Like my man Cornerstone said, we are focused on development. We are focused on building this thing organically, okay? I don't think Beal's the right guy. He's a great player, don't get me wrong. We're going to get another opportunity to get a star. Don't worry. That time will come. But right now, we still have to continue to develop and continue to pick up more pieces in this draft. Once we accumulate the more assets, I'm telling you guys, the right superstar, like Andy said, maybe the right 2 superstars will come and save us. And you and I and Latrell Sprewell will be in the front row, and the Madison Square Garden will be live again. Just wait. We can't get crazy. I know we want to trade our guys always, but we have to stay patient. What you guys need to do is you need to hold Mitchell Robinson accountable when he tweets something after the game. You need to say, where were you on the court? I understand our point guard situation, but Mitch, you've been great most of this year. You've been buying in. Stay toward the plan. I need you tonight, and that's all I got to say.
All right, I appreciate it.
We got enough draft capital as it is.
All I gotta say to that is we've been, ever since Melo and that squad has been gone since 2014, for the last 6 years, we've been trying to build with young guys. All right, Phil Jackson kind of went away from it a little bit. Then, we came back. We've been trying to build with young guys, and we've gone nowhere. We've been trying to go through. Now we got a team full of young guys. Just because you make a trade doesn't mean you're no longer going to have young guys. Right? You make a trade, you're not giving up all of your young guys. Right. All of these young guys are not going to pan out. It happens with every team. Every team that wins a champ. The Los Angeles Lakers won a championship last year. Who the hell? They didn't have Brandon Ingram. They didn't have Julius Randle. They didn't have Lonzo Ball. They didn't have D'Angelo Russell. All of these young guys that they built and they were going to develop, they had none of them. I'm not saying that you give up all of your young guys, but if you're going to improve your team, you got to give up something. We keep waiting. So next year, you know, we get 2 draft picks next year. Oh, well, we got to wait another 3 years to let these guys develop and see what we got. So when do we ever take a step forward? We're never going to take a leap forward.
I've been making this argument since the offseason. I've been making the same exact argument. You have to go out. You have to be aggressive. I'm not saying trade away the farm. It's not trading away the farm. It's trying to get better. You have to improve the roster, guys. That's all I'm saying. You have to do it. At some point, you got to take a swing. You can't just sit there and take strike 3.
Right.
I get that you know, one thing that I do agree with is that most teams, they have one guy that they drafted that grew up with you, at least.
Right.
That's why I'm like, I want to keep RJ there. We got that one guy that grows up with you. Right now, some other guys, and you're not going to trade all of your young guys. You still might have Quickly there. Maybe they take Obi, or maybe they say we want Quickly, and we keep Obi. Who knows? I mean, however it works. But then you got some of your young guys still that's growing up with you, right? But then you add pieces around it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And listen, you're not getting any extra points for winning with people on your rosters. There's no asterisk next to the Lakers championship because none of the players they drafted was on was on their team. They gave away all of them.
They won in the bubble. That's an asterisk.
Yeah. and everyone's going to point to Golden State, say, well, they, you know, look at they had, you know, their young guys and whatever. But they wouldn't have won a championship without adding other pieces around those guys.
Kevin
they had
Durant.
to make moves.
They won before Kevin.
They won before Kevin.
No, I know. I'm talking about the last 4 championships. The last 4 Finals MVPs were guys that were brought in, free agents or trade. The last 4 Finals MVPs, and it's looking like the 5th one this year.
And to piggyback off what Josh is saying, even building through the draft, look at Boston. They had Jaylen Brown. They had what's the guy named Tatum. They still went out and got Kyrie. Kyrie didn't work out. They still went out and got Kimber, which may not be working out. Same thing with Philly. They still went and tried to put Butler and Harris around them. There's no such thing as you going to the championship with just young players. At some point, you got to bring in those bets to put around them.
That's what I think. So I want to one thing that people keep saying, you know, what has Beal done? What has he done? Right, the same. I mean, Stephanie said it earlier. What had AD done before he, you know, was added to a team? But you know what? Before John Wall got hurt and went out for all those years, the Wizards were in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
About 2 or 3 seasons with Beal and John Wall, and they were both young. They were in the playoffs, and those 2 guys were the leaders of the team. Right, and then John Wall got hurt and went out for, you know, he was out for 2-3 years. And they could never find that footing. But, I mean, I get what you're saying. You know, you're trying to say, well, you know, he didn't lead his team. No one, they're not going to lead the team by themselves. You
it's piece by piece, step by step.
I think we all agree to that. I think it's many ways to skin a cat, man. You could
exactly
ways to go about it. So I think nobody's wrong in this situation because, like you said, San Antonio had Tony Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan. Golden State had this, just like, you know, the Lakers. They went and got LeBron and AD. It's many ways to put it together. You know what I mean? So nobody's wrong here. And even with Bill, I don't think nobody's saying Bill is not. What did he done? Bill is the legitimate truth. That man is top 2-3 shooting guard in the league. But for AD is top 2 in the league. So even the AD in New Orleans, Bill ain't AD. AD is top 2 playing the game, top 3 with him, LeBron, and KD. So I don't think we should even put Bill in AD's category because he's not. First of all, that's legit.
Hey, Divine, and watch this. And Knick fans are not going to like this. I'm going to be straight up. Bradley Beal is the best shooting guard we've had in the last 20 years. Bradley Beal. Hold on. Watch this. Bradley Beal is if he comes to the Knicks, that'll be the best guard that the Knicks have had in their history. Argue that. Anybody argue that?
You might be right. You might be right.
If we can get Bradley Beal or RJ here, I'm all for it. I'm not
take whatever you want.
If we can get Bradley Beal, RJ, Bradley Beal, RJ, and Randall.
That's legit.
That's a nice trio, and you still got money. You still got, and then in the summer you go get Kyle Lowry. I'm sorry, y'all, but
he would want to come now.
Exactly, he would want to be there. You go get Kyle Lowry. You putting together a nice little squad, and you still might have quickly and a couple guys on the bench.
If you get Bradley Beal, I'll still do the Lonzo thing. You know what I mean? Lonzo, RJ, Bill, Randall, and Mitch. That's insane. Because Bradley Beal is the top defender. RJ can defend. Mitch can defend. Lonzo can defend. Lonzo don't need to shoot the ball like crazy. He can facilitate all them cats. If you get that Lonzo trade with Bradley Beal, man, with them cats, I ain't got nothing to say.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with this whole Bradley Beal thing. They asked him the other day, is he frustrated? He was like, is the sky blue? I mean, of course he's frustrated. His girlfriend, his wife, not his girlfriend, his wife, she sent out a tweet like, that she's sick of it. And I feel like if Bradley Beal does ask for a trade, the Wizards, because he spent so much time there and he really has been trying to make it work there, they would honor wherever he would want to go or try to get him to a place that he would like to be. Now would the Knicks be on that list?
He probably wanted to Miami.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, will the Knicks be on that list? Who knows? I don't know. They might be on the list just because it's the Knicks. He's like, I'll go to the Knicks, but it may not be as serious.
Hey,
Sam, look,
be on the media list for sure.
hey, people in the chat, going off about what I said, Earl the Pearl Monroe and Clyde Frazier. Oh, I'm sorry. Too bad we got to go back 50 years to talk about who a good guard was in our organization. 50 years.
Gosh, that's the
50 years. Come on, guys.
I mean, we'll see what comes of that situation. If something comes of it, it would be, probably closer to the deadline. They're not going to make any early moves. The Wizards wouldn't. If Beal really wants to get out of there, it's going to be closer to the deadline that they would want to make that move. If they don't even have to do it then, you know what I'm saying? They could say, look, we're just going to ride out this season and we'll see what happens in the summer. So I wouldn't expect that it would be something that happens soon to anybody, not just the Knicks, to anybody. I would think it's going to, be a little while with Bradley Beal. At least by the earliest by the deadline, but maybe not even that. They may try to work that thing out.
Hey, Pat Riley gonna give up Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and some picks for him. He going to Miami.
And I'd be scared of Pat Riley, because you know how they do. He has the ability to bring some talent in, and if you put him down there with Pat Riley, man,
and Jimmy Butler
and them guys, I'll be mad.
Yeah, you're going to be willing to leave money on the table to go to Miami.
Shout out to Chester. He said, happy birthday. I appreciate you. And then Siobhan Robinson, he said, Cornerstone. He said, who needs Bill when you have a talent like Frank?
That ain't my Frank, man.
Anyway, let's get back and just wrap this thing up with the Cavs for tonight. I'll take one more phone call first, let you gather your thoughts there, and then we'll wrap it up. Calling you live. What's poppin'?
Hey, Sam, how you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. How you feeling?
I'm doing good. Shout out to the chat. I just wanted to talk about everybody talking about trading the players and trading for Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine. Yo, honestly, as a Knicks fan, I'm getting tired of that, man. To be honest with you, like y'all need to stop. First off, we don't have the value in our players to actually go out there and make it happen. Yeah, we got draft picks,
but the Dallas draft picks is not going to be too high. You know what I'm saying? We don't really want to give up our draft picks. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as we start showing that we a good organization, or we starting to be a good organization, we got a few assets. Everybody want to talk about trading for this player and that player. You know, seriously, man. Like, why nobody want to exercise some patience?
We've been patient.
We are. We're not talking about trading everybody, but the facts are that if you want to get better, you've got to take some chances and make some moves. All of our players are not going to turn out to be stars.
All right, that's cool, but at the end of the day, like, if we do make a trade, right, to go get Bradley Beal or Zach LaVine, right?
Just one of them. Just one of them. Just one. You're not getting both. Just one.
Yeah. I'm not saying both. I'm saying one of those guys, right? We give up the assets to go and get, let's say, Bradley Beal, because he's going to cost more, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to possibly add him to RJ. You know what I mean? Possibly to Mitch. More than likely, we're going to have to give up one of them to get him, right? So with that combination, where are we really going? We're going to beat all the superpowers in the league. We're going to beat Brooklyn.
Step by step.
It's step by step, bro. It is step by step.
We're going to beat Brooklyn. We're going to beat the Lakers. We're going to beat the Clippers, Philly.
You can bring AD in here and we wouldn't do that.
It is step by step. You are not going to bring in one player and automatically you are favored to win the championship. You are going to go step by step. Teams get lucky and skip steps. Brooklyn skipped steps because they added Kyrie and KD. And then the next season, they added James Harden. So they skipped some steps. But normally, you are going to go step by step. So my question, hold on. My question to you and everybody else who keeps saying, are you going to go from last to first by adding one pick? Are you trying to skip steps? Are you trying to accumulate so many young players and draft picks that you can now go try to trade for 3 superstars? Is that your strategy? Or are you trying to go step by step? This is going step by step. Because you're not giving up everybody.
What I'm trying to do is make a good organization, develop our players, show their value, and then, you know what I mean, make a move and go get a player like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like Brooklyn, they didn't skip steps. They went from the garbage all the way up to where they at right now, because you know what I mean. KG trade was ridiculous,
bro. They did not go from garbage. They went from being a competitive team. Man. They were a competitive team that made the playoffs.
They went from garbage, man.
I agree with them. Before they got kicked, what's the guy? What's the GM? They GM did take that play, tore that thing down. What's the name? Whoever, Mark. He did tear that down. Then they started making increments. He started getting. They did go from there to there and step. I got to give it to him on that.
But they didn't go grab a whole bunch of draft picks. They had no draft picks. They traded them away for Paul Pierce and KG. They had no draft picks.
And had they players pop sooner, they would have did what they did sooner.
Developed it. You know what I mean? And then made showed that they had a good organization. And then went and traded and signed Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? Like you said, step by step.
So are you telling me that they made no trades, that they didn't make a trade for D'Angelo Russell?
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
They didn't bring in free agents?
What I said was that they
young players and draft picks.
What I said was that they showed that they became a good organization and then developed the young players that they had, and then, you know what I mean, went and signed free agents after KD and Kyrie Irving saw that they had enough players to at least make it to the playoffs. Okay, so they wanted to get out their situation in Golden State and Boston, join forces. Okay, that's why they went to Brooklyn instead of the Knicks, because Brooklyn showed that they were the better organization.
You told me that they went from garbage. You told me that they went from trash to number one. They did not go from trash to number one.
After KG left and Paul Pierce left, that organization was garbage. They didn't have none of their draft picks.
I get that, but what I'm saying to you, it did not happen in 1 year, bro.
That's how Boston got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Listen. It did not happen in 1 year. It didn't happen in 1 year. They grew with
in
steps.
one off season. Yeah,
They took steps. We're not talking about going. You just said to me, is adding this player going to take us to the championship? No, we're not talking about adding one player to go to the championship. We're talking about adding players to take steps. They took steps and got better. And they got better. And then they were competitive. And then they had players that wanted to come to them.
We still in step one.
So when do you take a step? Tell me when you take a step.
We still in step one.
Tell me when you take the next step
right now.
When do you take the next step?
We take the next step after RJ reaches his potential. You know what I'm saying? After we see what Mitch really
RJ
is.
is 21 years old, bro.
Really
RJ won't reach his potential till he's 26, 27 years old. What are you talking about? That's another 5 years. He's not reaching his potential. He's not going to be in his prime till he's 26, 27. What are you talking about?
Tim, listen, man. Listen. If they go and they make those trades, man, I'm gonna blame you when the organization burns down.
That's cool. You can blame me. You can blame.
I'm gonna blame you, man.
You can blame me.
I listen to.
Like Divine said, there's many ways to go from step one to step two to step three.
If none of that works, I'm blaming you, man.
All right.
I think he's already in step one. I think they're in step one already.
Hold up. He said he's gonna blame me. I'm waiting for it. He's gonna call back. He's gonna blame me. I'm waiting for it. I'm ready for it. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Good call, man. I appreciate you.
Sam ruined the Knicks.
They're gonna be out here boycotting the show.
That's
man. All right, let's get around. Let's talk about this finish up with this Golden State game, man. Devon, just real quick. You have any predictions on tonight's game?
Yeah, I think we're gonna win tonight. No, I'm not even second guessing tonight. I'm putting that out there. I think the Knicks gonna win. We lost 5, we won 3. We lost 3. So the Knicks we lose some, we win some. We lose some, we win some. That's where they at this year. I think the Knicks gonna come out today, put that energy up, and I think they're gonna beat Cleveland tonight. I'm almost guaranteeing it pretty much.
I hope so. I hope they're feeling it, man. I mean, Cleveland. Everybody came in and thinking that Cleveland was going to be a terrible team, and they're showing everybody now. If they end up waiving or buying out Andre Drummond, their season could change drastically. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure Andre Drummond is going. But they did get Jared Allen, so
right.
Yeah, they got Jared Allen. Andy, what do you think?
Yeah, this is going to be one of the toughest game that I see in the near future, except probably the Clippers game, because we already won with the Cavs, but they were a totally different team. They didn't have their guards. Now they have both of them back. They have a substitution center, where we scored a few at least points when Drummond was on the bench. Now they're going to have Allen in there. So as I see it, the game is going to be settled in the paint, because if not only the centers, battle, but also if our guards are going to let, Sexton and Garland get into the paint, that's going to be a problem for us, because, I don't think Mitch and Netherlands can clean up the whole, defense for us. And, not to even mention that they have, those crazy guys like Cedi Osman and whatever that can go for 20 on any given night, when you do just forget about them. So, it's going to be a hard game. But I also, if I would have to put in money, I think I would put it on the Knicks.
All right. Kev?
All right. First off, I think a lot of times Knicks fans are just scared because of what's happened in the past. That's why, including myself, why we're so hesitant on doing all these trades that everyone's talking about, because of things that have happened in the past. All right. And I understand that you want to take a chance and everything. I understand that. But again, you can understand why myself and a lot of people are hesitant. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that.
All right.
Now,
can I just ask you one thing as far as that? Let me just ask you one thing, because I know everyone's referencing Carmelo Anthony, right?
Well, it's not just Carmelo Anthony, because we've been fans for so long. We've seen like the Isaiahs and all of them throw money at
but most people go back to the Carmelo Anthony trade, right? After the Knicks traded for Melo, and no, I'm not saying that the Knicks reached the potential that they could have or did everything that they could have done, right? But did they not get better? Did they not win 54 games? Was that not the best, I don't want to say era, but I guess you could say era of basketball that we've seen in the last 20 years from the New York Knicks? Was that not the best?
We could have kept building on that.
We capped out at the second round. We capped out in the second round, right? But I believe that was more the organization made some bad moves when they waived or stretched Chauncey Billups and brought in Tyson Chandler. That was a huge mistake because they could have waited and got Chris Paul. He was coming. Chris Paul was on his way to the New York Knicks, and then they decided to get rid of Chauncey Billups and sign Tyson Chandler. When they could have waited, they would have had Chris Paul, Amari, and Melo, and then they could have got another center. That was an organizational mishap. It wasn't because they gave up all their assets. It was an organizational mishap.
All right, I understand. Okay. You know what, bottom line? Whatever the management does, I'm all for it, all right? We're going to win tonight, and we'll hopefully put up a good game against the Clippers, all right? That's all I got to say.
Cavs.
Everybody, take care. I will see y'all later on tonight.
Take that blood pressure pill, Cam. Take that blood pressure pill.
All right, let me come to Joe. Kev is eating today. Go ahead, Joe. Talk to us about the Cavs.
Hold on, I just want to say about the Bradley Beal thing. When we were talking about we gathered all these assets for a big move, like all the second round picks, the Dallas picks, everything we gathered, if it's not for a Bradley Beal type superstar, then who's it going to be? It has to be for somebody because we're not going to make all the picks unless they're going to be small moves. So it's something you have to think about. And it's something I would wait and do in the offseason. Because you could call Kawhi and be like, listen, we're going to pull a deal for Bradley Beal. Are you going to come? And boom, that's when you pull it. But it's something definitely to think about if he's not gone before then. Back to the Cavs game. Yeah, the Cavs are going to be tough tonight. I forgot that they got Allen too. So when Drummond's off the floor, they have somebody.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah, I know Jared Allen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's a winnable game. Like every game is winnable, but I don't know. We just have to play at our best to get through this one, I think.
Yeah.
Mitch and Noel have to have hella games to get this off.
Yeah.
But,
and ladies and gentlemen, sorry, it wasn't just one season. The Knicks did make at least at that time 3 straight playoffs, but until 2010, 2011, when Mario and Melo came, the Knicks had missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 playoff appearances in a row, and they had missed 8 of the last 9 seasons of being in the playoffs. Right? So you can't tell me the team didn't get better. Did we reach the potential that we could have? No. But we got better.
Oh, yeah.
And you were excited. Don't tell me you weren't excited. Don't tell me you weren't looking at your TV or in the stadium at MSG chanting Melo when he made his first appearance against the Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks. Don't tell me you were not chanting that way, because I know you were. And I know there's going to be a bunch of people in the chat, in the YouTube chat right now that says, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. You're lying. Don't lie to me. I don't even want to hear it. Everybody was hyped. Everybody was excited. Everybody was.
And it was because of the injuries. Yeah, and man. We won the last 8 games and almost made it into the playoffs the next year.
That next year.
Yeah, they shouldn't have fired Mike Woodson and brought on wasn't that
Exactly. They shouldn't have.
They should have kept that, man.
They should have kept Mike Woodson, man. They should have kept him. Steph, what do you think about tonight's game, man?
I think it's going to be tough. Both of the guards are back, and Garland is back in the starting lineup, so I think it's going to be tough. Drummond and Jarrett. I think it's going to be a tough game, but we're well rested. Hopefully Tibbs didn't run them too hard. So I kind of like our chances. And I just want to say to the chat, it's all love up here. We go at it with our opinions or whatever, but it's all love.
Yeah, it's all love. It's all love with all of you guys too. Shoot.
Yeah.
We just having fun.
Yep.
We just having fun.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
Kev too. Kev is just having fun too. Kev is good. He's just having fun.
You just forgot the pill.
The beautiful thing is that, you know what? The beautiful thing is that we never disrespect each other, and that's what makes it so lovely.
Yeah.
You know, we could debate, we could argue, but we always keep that respect there, and that's what it's all about.
Right.
You know, everybody's opinion vary, but we just keep that respect, and we do that. And that's what made NBK so great to me when it comes to
you know,
stuff.
people saying all of this and that. I guarantee you, everyone would like to go back to the mellow days.
Hell yeah.
I don't even want to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone was.
It wasn't the trade. It was decisions that was made after the trade.
It was decisions made after the trade. It was not the trade. It was the decisions made after the trade.
The Melo days were my only days because I was too young for the Patrick Ewing era, the '90s one. So Melo,
you missed it, man.
Melo was my only time.
Yep.
It was the Chauncey Billups and Amari when it went down against Boston, it might have been a whole different story in New York right now.
No, it could have been. It was definitely the decisions made after the trade, bringing in Andre Bargnani. You know, the whole Chris Paul. You know, the whole Chauncey Billups and Tyson Chandler thing. Like all those things after the trade is you know.
How we treated Porzingis, don't forget about that.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Josh.
So I just want to say, you know, again, you know, there's multiple ways to skin the cat, like Devon was saying. Yeah. I've been on this thing about improving the team for the longest. I wanted to make a trade in the offseason to try to improve the team. I don't think it's smart to make a trade right now. Per se, in the middle of the season, I wouldn't do it right now. But in the offseason, I'm all game for improving the team and making it better. And people often criticize, you know, Kev was talking about it, you know, we threw all this money at these players and we traded and we made some terrible trades, but also we haven't drafted well either, right? We haven't drafted well and we haven't been developing our guys better. So it's everything. It's not just the Knicks front office, you know, being incompetent as far as making trades and going out and doing transactions, but they also have to draft well. And we've been drafting better, so now we also have to bring in some pieces via trade or free agency. As far as tonight is concerned, again, I'm going to predict the Knicks to lose because the last few games where I predicted them to win, they lost. So hopefully, you know, the basketball gods are listening to me and they're going to say, Josh, we hate everything about you, and we're gonna help the Knicks win. Okay, so yeah, you know, I'm predicting the Knicks to lose. It'll be a close game. The Knicks are actually a favorite tonight by 1.5 points. That's what Vegas has them at. So, you know, I think the Knicks are going to lose. And if you guys are watching, make sure you go cop some merch. It's pretty good. You should see it in your YouTube, you know, and YouTube, the Yo Black is Time, all the NBK gear. So that's what I got to say.
And I got some thanks, Josh. I appreciate that, man. And I got some other stuff some other like commemorative type stuff coming out, you know, for anybody out there that, you know, was a Melo hater. I am doing a logo, a Melo 62 NBK logo. It's gonna be dope.
Any patches, Sam? Any NBK patches?
I don't have any patches not connected to the YouTube page
yet.
Right.
Yeah, because I would like to put it on some of my hats and stuff because I don't wear the you know.
Yeah, so I don't have it. It's not connected. I don't have it connected to the YouTube page, but we can get you some patches.
That would be good tonight because my prediction strike numbers are looking horrible right now. My player, y'all Knicks need to start.
Oh, that's nice. Where is that? I don't see the link though.
It's under the video. If you go under the video, there's like if you look at a video under the video, there's where you can make some purchases.
I need mine, Sim. I need mine. Double X. I need that.
Prince, what do you think about the game, man?
Like Josh said, but you know, the reverse, I got to stay optimistic. I know he really wants us to win, but like he said, hopefully he's speaking into existence in reverse. But I think it is going to be a tight one, but I think the Knicks definitely bounce back. I think we're going to win this one by like 3 or 4. It's going to be a free throw shooting contest coming down the end. I think we'll win it. I think we take this one serious because, again, they beat us when they were down. And, again, it was a real disrespectful loss to us. So I heard Mitch say he was going to take this personal. And I think, you know, we bring the noise to Drummond and we can stop or slow down, you know, Garland and Sexton. And Sexton's been playing awesome. But I think this might be a night where
we lost him.
I hope that's not a sign.
Right.
It's gonna be a night.
Right. He said, I hope it's not gonna be a night for a week. There you go, Prince. You back. You froze up on us, man.
I don't know what happened to pray the internet over here, man. You know, something going on.
Yeah, but you were saying, you said, I hope this not gonna be a night where we something.
Oh, well, I hope this is not gonna be a night where we get cooked by Sexton and Garland. So maybe we might see a Frank sighting tonight. And maybe Frank can come in, give us some defensive minutes. Cornerstone, I know we drove his blood pressure up, but I love you, Cornerstone. We just wanted you to understand that, hey man, we just want to get better. And I'm not trying to give up the house either, but hey, if it take us to make a move to get, 2 steps further, we got to do that, guys. Because again, I don't think, like Steph said, I don't think Tibbs trying to wait around no 4 or 5 years before he can be a true contender. So don't think it's gonna happen this year, but I'm telling you, next year in the off season, we definitely gonna be heading towards somewhere.
And you know what's crazy though, Prince. People. We have people call up and they always say, y'all don't, you guys don't value. You guys don't know what your players are worth, this and that. And we talked to some people last week, some people from Chicago, who were like, "Yo, why y'all not playing Kevin Knox more?" Right? He was gonna call in today, but maybe he couldn't. How come? Who else did he say? I mean, he was talking about
Frank.
OD quickly.
He said he loved Frank.
He was talking about all of our players. Like, yo, I'll take that player. We'll take this player. We'll take that player because y'all don't know what y'all doing. Literally.
He was a good dude too. He knew a lot about
people from other teams.
He said he watched us. He said he'd been watching us for a minute, but he had called in right when Sim had finished the broadcast last time. And it's funny. Hopefully we can get a lot more of y'all fans from other teams come up here and speak, because again, we do need a clear understanding, a different perspective from just our minute perspective as Knicks fans, because again, guys, it's 29 other teams, man, and there's a lot of NBA fans, and one guy's trash is another guy's treasure. So everybody can scream Knox is trash and Frank is trash, but trust you, believe you me, it's some teams and some organization that would love that dude. And again, so again, we're not saying give up on our kids. We're not saying trade them away for anything. But again, we talking about potential pieces that could really solidify us. In a Zach LaVine trade, a Bradley Beal trade, everybody's up. Everybody, unless whoever is that piece that we're going to build around. But again, tonight we got the crew. The Fizz kids and the old dudes.
The Fizz kids.
And the old dudes. And you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, man, Tibbs gonna do his thing tonight. I think he really takes it to the guys and be like, y'all got to take this personal. I'm pretty sure Julius is gonna read that same sentiment. RJ is gonna come in with that killer face. So if we can get the contribution from the bench, my boy Knox, hopefully quickly can come out and give us those minutes again. But I think we will see a different Knicks tonight. I think they show up with the energy. I think they show up with that tenacity and that fight that we've always seen them show up with in the earlier season. But I think that West Coast trip definitely kind of not necessarily hindered them, but it definitely it slowed us down. It slowed us down.
I hope so. Well, panel, I thank you guys for being here. Very spirited conversation. Hopefully, we can come back. We get us a nice win tonight. Josh, I appreciate you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, you can check underneath the video. There's you can see the merch underneath the video. And there'll be some new stuff, some fresh stuff coming up there soon. But I'm going to head out of here for tonight. The game starts in about an hour, 7:30. I'm pretty sure Leeds and the Knicks is going to be coming on about 7 o'clock. Go check out Leeds and the Knicks podcast, to do the play-by-play. And I'll be back about, I don't know, what time the game get over? I don't know, 10:30, 10:15, about 10:15, something like that. We'll be back. So peace, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful.
Birthday win for the birthday man.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We need that win tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We out of here. Spread love. Done.